that's what we're trying to fight for right now. Like I I was supposed to be getting FMLA because of one at work, and I like I said, I kept on giving my doctor's notes. I mean, I have doctor's notes from my private doctor. The head of the VA actually came down to my house from DC and sat down here, and he even wrote a whole letter, and we had still had it to give. I mean, we already gave it to him,
Right.
and I don't know. I guess maybe it stunned him. And that's when I stopped hearing from everyone. It's like, don't talk to him. Like, we don't know what he knows, and we don't want to give him any more fuel, I guess.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And today we're going to be a little bit more serious than we usually are. I have a veteran here. His name's Michael Stockslager. And he's going to talk about his experiences, and let's see what we can do to help these guys, because they put their lives on the line to serve us, and we need to give them a voice, and this is what it's going to be all about today. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself and your timeline when you got into the service and when you got out.
Um, okay, well, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and didn't really like school, so I was like, well, I'm gonna join the military. So I talked to the Army, talked to the Air Force, liked the Air Force a little bit better, so I went with them. Then, of course, went through basic training and all that, and we kind of got a chance to pick where we wanted to go afterwards. So I was like, England. England sounds great. Never been overseas at all. Never even been in a plane before till I flew down here to Lackland or Shepherd or whatever. And so got orders, went over there for 2 years, did my first deployment with them for Iraqi freedom. And we did a couple TDYs back to the States. So I left there, went to Shaw in South Carolina, did some TDYs with them, worked alert for NORAD, then got orders, went to South Korea.
Mm.
Um, I worked off the line that year. It's called technically weapons standardization, but we call it load barn, in the weapons career field that I'm in. And I taught weapons weapons loading to 3 different squadrons over there. They come down, they had to get recertified on different munitions and stuff like that. So I was going to do another year there, but I already got orders. I went to Davis Moss. I'm down in Tucson, Arizona, and so I was working 810s. Uh, we were doing a fall walk one morning, and my chief walks out. He's like, "Hey, do you want to go to Afghanistan?" I was like, "I guess." So I went by myself. Like I never done a deployment just by myself, and it was a clown show. Like I got over there, and we were down. It was called South Park down in the tent area, and man, it was an eye opener on that one. It wasn't like Qatar. And yeah, while we were there, it's the Wild West. Like,
Oh man.
so what was it? One night it rained so hard we couldn't even get back to our tents. Like, they just flooded.
Oh
People
no.
lost laptops and stuff. But we got towards the end of it, and this was all active duty.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, I only got like 2 weeks left on my enlistment, like, and I'm still sitting here. Like, what are they gonna do? They gonna try and stop lost me, or? But I got back in the States. I sold back a bunch of my league, so kind of got screwed on that. But they did my free diddy move and all that, so I moved back out to South Carolina. Went to school for a little bit, and I was going. Well, that's when I joined the Guard, the 169th Swamp Foxes.
Mhm.
So I got my degree in HVAC, and it was funny. Like, as soon as I got it, we got the orders. Hey, we're going to deploy again, and we're not sure where we're going. So you know how everyone chit chats and this and that.
Right.
I was sitting in the break room, and then one guy was like, "Yeah, I heard we're going to somewhere in Afghanistan, and it starts with a K." And I didn't hear it right. I was like, "We're going to Kandahar again." He was like, "My weapons chief was standing there." He's like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "I've been there before."
Mhm.
He was like, "Can I talk to you real quick?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So how's it gonna be?" I was like, "Well, time period we were going, it's called the fighting season for a reason. So be prepared to do your job."
Yeah.
So, so it was another wild time. I think we did like 8 months or so. I don't know. I'd have to look on my sheet, but I just told my guys I was like, just have your stuff in order, be flexible here. But I don't know, decent deployment. So I came back and ended up uh leaving South Carolina. Then I went up to DC Guard, did a couple TDYs with them, and then they hired me on as a federal technician, which I don't know if you know what that means. Like,
No, no. Can you explain it a little bit?
okay, so you get your traditional guardsman, does the
Mm.
1 weekend out of the year, 2 weekend or 2 weeks a year then. And then you have, I guess they're called AGRs, but they're paid like active duty, but they still pull drill with us.
Mhm.
And then what I was a federal technician, so it was a wage grade, like 13 or something like that. It goes in tiers,
Right.
like your hourly pay or whatever. But I still did drills too. But when we went like other deployments, they just bring you up on active duty orders. So that was kind of cool because you're kind of double dipping a little bit because you're getting paid from both the side a little while. But so yeah, we did another I guess you would call it a deployment. out to Guam of all places.
Wow.
And so I was like, yeah, I'll go along. Luckily, we got stuck in Hawaii, so they put us in Waikiki Beach for like 2 weeks. We just moved around a couple of hotels. I mean, there wasn't even times we'd go and work, but just go down and get in the pool or something.
Hmm.
But then we hopped out to Guam, and of course it's you know just looks like Hawaii, same. But that was the only time they briefed us. They were like, "You guys can go hiking and all this. Stay away from these certain cliffs in this area." Of course, a couple guys went out. This was before I even got there, because like I said, I was stuck in Hawaii. Hoo hoo. But then when we got out there, we were all sitting in the movie theater. They're like, "We lost someone today," and well, didn't lose him. The Coast Guard was looking for him, and Commander, he was all pissed off. He was like, "The one place they said don't go because the tides and all that, it's very dangerous, so don't go down there." Of course, they went down there. I was like, "We're out in the tropics here, and we're gonna lose something. We're not even sitting in like a combat zone."
Jeez.
So we did the rest of the tour, came back, and uh, did some. I don't know. It probably took about a year or so. Bought a house and stuff, moved down here, and I started getting anxious at like work, and because I was doing a couple different things. I was the expediter, supervisor, whatever you want to call it, on the flight line, and then I was the unit deployment manager, and then I was the equipment manager, which I managed like $7 million worth of equipment.
Wow.
So I guess everything kind of wore on me, and finally went in, got some help. We have all the doctor's notes and this and that, and I got a letter in the mail that says you're terminated from your job because you haven't been showing up. I was like, you can't do that.
Right.
So I called them up. They were like, oh, well, there must have been a misunderstanding and this and that. And I was like, okay, well, so do I still have benefits and stuff? They're like, yeah, yeah. And I get another letter in the mail probably a couple days later. They terminated me again. I was like, how you get fired twice from
Right.
something they tell you to go get help with? So we did that back and forth since 2018. So I haven't seen a dime from them. No insurance. We've been paying out of pocket for my medications, stuff like that. Um, I mean, it's took wear and tear on my family. I mean, it's just crazy. And lo and behold, my wife, she always looking into this kind of stuff. They've been writing EPRs on me, which is rating reports, if you understand that.
Um, Slightly, but maybe you could better explain it.
Um, so okay, just in general, uh, yeah, Michael Stockslager was proficient in PT today. He's got a 5, or it's just like little comments, bullets in there, and you get your rating. It's usually it's one between 1 and 5 in like different categories, I should say.
Right.
And then overall, like, all right, you got all fives, or you got maybe you got to work in this area a little bit better. You got a 4 in this category, or something. Well, yeah, she found these, and apparently the commander and stuff and Suba, everyone's just signing off on it. And I'm like, I'm not even at work. I haven't been at work since 2018. And
So
I
he's just
found out,
making stuff up.
yeah, and then she found another thing. She was counting, not to toot my horn, with devices and everything, like 34 medals that I don't even know about. I mean, no one's told me anything.
But you're not getting any of your pay or your benefits.
No,
But they're still counting you like you're there.
no. Well, we ended up suing them,
Hmm.
like long as far as you can say. And it was like a week later, I was honorably discharged. Like, okay, you're good. Like they don't want to keep going with it because they're gonna find out like where they're. I mean, we had the IG Inspector General. I
Hmm.
mean, to we got emails from him say, "Oh yeah, they really screwed up. Like they shouldn't have fired him. They shouldn't have done this." And I have no idea. I haven't heard from anyone for I can't even remember that I worked with for how long it's been. 2018.
So
Like
for
no,
the last 4 years.
yeah. But they always preach at these yellow ribbon um programs that it's mandatory to go to when you go on these deployments. Oh, well, if you need help and do well, I finally said, well, maybe I do. I mean, shot at. I mean, the second time when I was in Afghanistan, the uh the alarm didn't go off, and me and my two men were walking back to the shop, and just a rocket went off probably maybe 50 yards away from us. I mean, it was close enough to knock us down. I mean, I talked to therapists and stuff. They're like, well, "Did you get any head trauma?" I was like, "I haven't know. I've had a CAT scan before, and they said it was fine, but you just can't unsee the what." That's what they say. Well, just don't think about. You can't unthink about stuff.
So what effects has it been on you mentally and physically?
Uh, I'm gonna say mentally wise, just not myself anymore. Like, just I take joy in things and going hunting, fishing. I'm starting to get back into that, but I went into a big rut there for a while. So like, I don't feel like doing anything. Like, I'll just rather just sit here. And then, I guess physically, man, I wasn't like eating stuff. I think I went in to the doctor the one day. They were like, you lost like 14 pounds. I was like, I don't feel like it. They're like, yeah. I was like, huh, I did not know that.
Um, it's it anything affected like motor skills or anything like that?
Uh, my knees basically walking up and down the flight line.
Yeah.
I swear that's caught up to me. Like, there's stiffer than heck right now. I got a little time I gotta warm them up a little bit before I get going.
Man, so you've done everything that they've asked you to do,
Yeah,
went everywhere they've asked you to go without complaining or anything like that, and they just let you go. I mean, they're basically the ones that sent you to go get help, and you have all the documentation, and they still want to let you go.
yeah. I
That's
mean, it was just out of the blue, like, yeah, you're terminated. I was like, for what? What I mean, what did I do? I mean, I don't even have a paper trail. I mean, I've never been in trouble with the military in my whole 17-year career at all.
and so you won't get any pension, you don't get any
That's
pay, you don't
that's
get
what we're
any insurance.
that's what we're trying to fight for right now. Like, I I was supposed to be getting FMLA because of one at work, and I like I said, I kept on giving my doctor's notes. I mean, I have doctor's notes from my private doctor. The head of the VA actually came down to my house from DC and sat down here, and he even wrote a whole letter, and we had still had it to give. I mean, we already gave it to him,
Right.
and I don't know. I guess maybe it stunned him. And that's when I just stopped hearing from everyone. It's like, don't talk to him. Like, we don't know what he knows, and we don't want to give him any more fuel, I guess.
What's sad is everyone that I've talked to, whether it's been on the show or just talked to privately, there's always this red tape, everything to discourage you, just to give up. And they're the government. So they're going to get away with a lot.
Oh, I know. I watch it every day.
I it frustrates me because and I went through the process, but I didn't get in. Um, the they tell you everything under the sun to get you to sign up. They
Hmm.
offer you the world basically, and then when you get in, you find out that it's not exactly what they told you. Because I mean, they gave me a paper and they told me to mark down my first choice of what I wanted to get into, and then what would be my second choice and what would be my third choice, and I forgot how many they give you. But okay, so you say you want to get into, I don't know, the communications or something, but they decide they're going to send you to whatever is open at that moment.
Yeah, they did that with a lot of people.
Yeah, they do it. That's just about everybody. And where do you want to go? Well, I would like to be stationed here. Well, some people get to go, but there's a lot of people that don't get to go anywhere that they choose to go to. And
Hmm.
then if there's an active war going on, any time they're going to send you in the middle of it.
Hmm.
And after all that, they treat you like dirt and just throw you back to the wolves.
Well, that's what kind of made me mad about Afghanistan. Like, why did I even go twice? Like, what? So we're just gonna give it all back? I even lost a friend. And he came back and he committed suicide.
Yeah. I'm hearing that more and more, and how some of them just come back and they get so caught up in substances, whether it be drugs or alcohol or both. And a friend of mine messaged me the other day and said he lost a buddy to alcohol,
Hmm.
and another one that just decided to end it all. And this is happening way too much. Another thing that's annoying is they basically train you like a dog, tell you to sick them, and then when they're done with you, they expect you to come back and just acclimate into society. How are you supposed to turn it off?
No, you can't.
And you
It's
and you're going to be labeled the bad guy if you do something to someone else when you come back.
yeah. Well, that was one of the other things. I was in the movie theater one time, and I was just by myself, and people started coming in and sitting behind me. This is one of the things that contributed to me going to the doctor. It's like I can't have people sitting behind me. Like, so I went all the way to the back. The exit sign was. I was like, this is way better. Nah, no, everyone's in front of me.
Yeah, and don't try to sneak up on someone like that.
That's what we were out for my wife's brother's birthday. They were like, "Oh, why don't you just sit in the middle of the table?" I was like, "The middle of the table against the wall." I was like, "No, I'll just sit down here at the end because that's basically the closest to exit or whatever. If I have like a panic attack, I guess you would say."
Hmm.
But yeah, it's changed me a lot.
Yeah, you were in the thick of it, and how would anyone react, trained or not, if somebody sneaks up behind you and scares you, or like when you have those panic attacks. I didn't go through anything in the military, but I was abused as a child,
That
and I have panic attacks from time to time. I have to know where the exit's at. I
that's
can't
how.
I can't be stuck in a crowd. I can't imagine what it would be for someone who was in active duty and went through what y'all went through.
Oh yeah, it's you're always scanning. I don't like public places. Like we went to the fair a couple weeks ago, and I was like freaking out. I was like, all right, well, I might walk back to the car, but I got through it, and I was just like, just take me home. I need to take a nap.
It does wear on you. It wears you down. I know when I have one of my attacks, it takes me several days to recover from it. And I say I didn't go through anything like y'all went through.
Hmm. Yeah, I was telling someone on the might have been therapist or something. I was like, you wouldn't understand when you arrive in a destination and before you even get your bag off the plane, they already done sent, I think it was like 5 or 8 rockets like on the flight line. And I was like, it's gonna be a great deployment, man. I was like, we didn't get our bags yet.
Jeez. So what other steps could you take? I mean, have you talked to a lawyer or to anyone?
Oh yeah, yeah. About the old, yeah. They were, as far as I know, I don't know what I can say about it or whatever. But as far as I know, they already got the paperwork and stuff up there, and I guess the ball's in their court now. So
Well, is,
hopefully they'll
is
back me or something. I have no idea what they're trying to do.
well, what could we as private citizens do to help people like you? I mean, is it going to take talking to our senators, writing letters to the government? What do you think we can do?
Um, Probably that. I mean, we've wrote countless ones, and they went out, and I guess they replied to them, and it sounded like they're going to do something about it. But it, you know, I'm one in a million in a haystack, so I'm sure
You know,
they're sending stuff in,
and
and then with
that's
this other politics and all, everything's on the back burner now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Y'all are just another number. There's
Yeah.
so many people that are going through something similar to what you're going through. And where do they begin? I mean, why can't they just go through and just start closing these cases out on a daily basis and get y'all what you need? Why is there so much problem? This is what you signed up for to get this kind of benefit.
Mm-hmm.
It's already yours. Why can't they just go ahead and give it to you?
Yeah. Yeah. I had some friends, man, something was messed up with his paycheck, but it wasn't like his problem. He didn't even get a paycheck for the whole month. And he was like, "Are you gonna back pay me this?" They're like, "Well, we can't do that right now in a lump sum. We can just kind of put it in at a little at a time." I was like, "But any other time, if you owe the military money, they're taking
Oh yeah,
what
of
they
course.
can."
Of course.
I'm like, I always tell people, it's not. They act like it's the government's money. It's taxpayers' money.
It's
It's not
basically your money to begin with.
like I pay taxes. I'm doing all this stuff. Like,
Geez, there,
but
I have someone very close to me who their grandfather was in the military, and anyway, he got to retire and he was getting his benefits, but then he passed away, and it was supposed to go to his wife, and the whatever office that his paperwork was in actually caught fire and burned down. So all his records, everything was gone. And because of that, they used that as an excuse to not pay her the money that should have been going to her. And there's nothing she can do about it. Well, I mean, yeah, I know that was a long time ago, but do they not put those records into computers? I guess if it was from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, and all that paperwork just stays on paper and doesn't go into a computer anywhere. All this they put y'all through, all this red tape, and I honestly think that they make it so difficult because they're hoping that somebody will end themselves because they're fed up, they just want to give up,
yeah.
or they just drop it because they're tired of it, and that's not right. What if something happens to you? What happens to your family?
Well, that's what we're fighting for right now. And then of course, we're letting the word out to other people. And there's another guy. He hunts here. He's ex Air Force too, and he's disabled too, knees and stuff. He was a firefighter. And I was like, "Hey man, are you getting this? Are you getting that?" He's like, "I have no idea that stuff was even out there." I was like, "Yeah, man, like you're I forget how much disabled it is. I mean, like you can collect all this."
But yet, it
And he's like, "Oh,
man. So what is on your disability as far as
uh,
what you have?
I'd have to look at it. It was it was probably, oh man, it was almost like a page and a half stuff. Like they diagnosed me stuff with other things. I mean, of course, the PSD, panic disorder, all that. Your plain Jane. I'm not sure what all the other stuff was.
And what percentage disability are you?
100%.
100%?
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, I'm on disability myself, and it took me like 2 years, but it should go through a lot quicker for guys like you.
Yeah, we had to do a lot of traveling and stuff. I had to go do an ear test and oh yeah, your ears are fine. Well, apparently they're not because 3M reached out and said, "Hey, don't sue us because you should have been wearing these earplugs." And then taking this other stuff now that veterans breathed in while we were deployed because they were burning garbage and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that
And
story one too many times.
I'm
It's,
like,
that's crazy.
get 10 anthrax shots. Do I need all these anthrax shots? Seriously? And now they're seeing birth defects and stuff in people.
Yeah.
Just like a lab rat, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, y'all are basically a guinea pig. And you don't even know if that's what you're really getting, do you?
Well, you could say that too, I guess. Whatever, just stick it in tomorrow. I just want to go home and go to bed. And they always did it on my end of my shift. I used to work night shift all the time, and I just want to go to home and go to sleep.
That's
Well, you got to go by,
yeah, that's
uh,
the thing. You are going to be less resistant to take it if you're exhausted and you just want to go to bed. Let's just get it over with. Let me go. God, man. I'm so sorry that you have to go through all this. I'm sorry that any of y'all have to go through this. And I'm not just pandering to you, man. I mean it. I have a
well,
special place in my heart for those who serve.
like I said, it hadn't been easy, especially like I said, on my family and on me and all that. You know, I mean, everyone's kind of
Got an audience back there, I guess.
they, yeah, but this has been, like I said, tough on everyone.
And how long did you serve?
17 years.
17 years.
I'd have to look at the 214, but
Yeah.
well, I was officially out. Well, no, I wasn't even officially out. Like I told you, 2018. So I just got my honorable discharge paperwork like a couple months ago. So I guess in between that gap, you can say that I was working. I don't know
So
what
what
they want to say.
where are you living at now?
Southern Maryland.
Southern Maryland.
Mhm.
And what about just disability? Can Are you able to get that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, at least you've got something, right?
Yeah. Yep. We got a roof over our head, and
But it's still not your benefits that you rightly deserve.
well, yeah, it's not all the stuff that they should have done with the military side. Not just yeah, okay, here's your little paperwork. You're honorably discharged, and then hopefully we don't hear nothing back from you.
Mm.
I didn't even
So
get a 214 or anything. I didn't even out process.
if we wanted to send a message, is there a representative or senator or who do we send a message to?
I don't know. We've been talking to a lot of them. I'm not even sure he even got reelected right now. Babe, would you know that? He was asking if he would send a letter to a senator right now, who would it be? Well, well, okay. We already sent two out to Sammy Hoyer and what's his named Patron or something like that. His name is.
So you said Sammy Hoyer, and I guess I'll have to look up the other one. I'm writing Lise Hoyer down, and you say you think it's something like Patron,
Something like that. They're both set.
and that's in Maryland. You're
Mm.
in Southern Maryland. Where exactly in Southern Maryland are you?
Um, Calvert County, Prince Frederick.
Coward County?
Calvert.
Calvert? Okay.
Yeah.
Calvert County. And then the city?
Prince Frederick.
Prince Frederick. All right. I hope everyone that's either watching this or listening to this heard that. Let's send a message. We need to see what we can do. You know, we are always talking about we want to support our military, whether they're active or they're veterans. Well, it's time we stop talking and start acting on it. You know, we think about it when there's a holiday, you know, thank a veteran when it's Memorial Day or what have you. But we need to think about these guys every day. They have to live with this day after day, and there's such a struggle. There's so much red tape. They always get the runaround. They don't get the help they need. And that's not fair. This is what they signed up for. This is what they agreed to. They would put their lives on the line if they get these benefits. And for them not to get them, it's not right. I know there's a lot of people out there struggling. You've got your own problems. I get it. But if we could do something to help anyone out there, that good karma can come back to you. And Mike, I know maybe some of this got to be hard to talk about. And you're probably tired of having to talk about it. But I want you to know we're here for you, man.
Thank you.
I want to help any way that I can. And even if all I can do is give you a voice, then that's what I'm going to do. That's the least I can do.
All right.
And if there's anyone else that you know that wants to talk about their situation, please send them my way. The more we get this word out, maybe somebody will listen.
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
I wish the best for you and your family. And I really hope you get exactly the benefits that you deserve. And I'm sending blessings and prayers your way, my friend.
Thank you. We got the fingers crossed.
Well, say all you can do out there is at least pray. Pray for Mike, pray for all those others out there that are needing this help. So Mike, again, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here with us and to tell your story. And you're always welcome back.
Well, the word needs to get out there.
We're going to do the best we can. And I also want to thank all of you out there. If you are new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. And I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and please come back. For all of you out there that are my regulars, I appreciate you because you make it possible for me to do this. Let's share this. Let's tell others. It's not just for me to get numbers on YouTube or iHeartRadio or anything like that. No, it's about helping folks. That's why I want to get the word out there. So until the next one, everyone, please take care and be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network